Everybody got the way. We just catching and releasing what builds up throughout the day. Flows right through your body. Flows right through your blood. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry. Didn't realize it connected. Welcome to my channel. Oh, shit. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Everybody got the way. Love that song. Catching and releasing. I'm just getting the cards ready. This is a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers. So the topic for today. Oh, also for people who find themselves on this video without any Pisces in their chart, not dealing with a Pisces. If it resonates, it's yours. So it's time for you to allow yourself to be fish-eyed and fluffy-finned. Okay? Fish-eyed and fluffy-finned. Fish-eyed and fluffy-tailed. Fish-eyed and fluffy-tailed. Here we go. Whatever's been going on, you've been being challenged to see yourself in a different light, to see your journey in a different way. And really, it's time for you to just allow for this shift to occur. Put my watch over here. I'm dropping everything. If you allow for this shift to occur, what ends up happening is you reach a higher level of self-acceptance. That self-acceptance is something that goes hand in hand with self-realization and self-actualization, okay? This is where you begin to really take steps going towards your actual soul's purpose. Why do I keep dropping everything? I just need one more. Oh, yeah, that's an ugly face. I don't think I've ever seen these cards before. Oh, I've definitely seen that before. That's interesting. I've never seen that card before. Everybody got the way. We just catching and releasing what built up throughout the day. All right, guys, I'm almost done. Final deck. Look at all these walls I built. Baby, they're tumbling down. Didn't even put up a fight. Didn't even make a sound. Found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo. All right, 2 more cards and we're really done. Those 2. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. The risk that I'm taking. Here we go. Renewal, card number 20. Review the past and the present so you can plan a bright new future. Understanding your life purpose. Releasing judgments of yourself and others. Whatever connections have failed in the past, whether it be something platonic, something romantic, it's really irrelevant. A very important connection to you and your growth. It failed. It faltered, and then it failed, and then it crushed you. Whatever that was, it didn't fail because you're not enough. It didn't fail because you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not stylish enough, you're not. No, it failed because at that time, you weren't ready to have a depth of connection that deep. And so now it comes to a point where you have to let all of that disappointment from earlier life go. And it can be something, as intense and profound as like, your parent didn't raise you. It can stem all the way from early life, infancy even. This is something you have to really kind of just sit yourself down and see, like, where is this coming from? At what point did I feel so like rejected and abandoned that it wounded me to the point where I couldn't even acknowledge that the wound is there? And sometimes if the wound is inflicted in childhood, children don't necessarily know about this type of thing. They just know when something hurts, you don't touch it, don't mess with it, none of that. So it could be something as complex as, parent-child connections. 10 of Summer, an emotionally fulfilling life with family or friends, raising children wisely, people you can trust. Oh, shit. It goes to what I was saying, because an emotionally fulfilling life with family. So I wonder if for some, this has to do with a sense of abandonment from a previous life even, because it kind of feels like it's tied to possibly patterns. Wow. Wow. Just had a little realization. Patterns that go from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And maybe because this is something, it's a recurring theme throughout lifetimes, now for some who have very deeply rooted trust issues, it could be because of that, like a continuing pattern of like being let down, feeling as though you're rejected, abandoned, things like that. I think that's a very key theme right now for people who feel very abandoned. Sometimes it can affect the way you present yourself to the world, whether it's your aesthetics, whether it's like just like I know a few people who have gone through some very difficult things in life, and they felt very abandoned for most of their life. So they really didn't care in like, dressing up. They didn't care about doing makeup, their hair. They really didn't care about any of that, because it's like internally you feel so dejected. You feel so, I guess, unattractive and unappealing. But the attractiveness, it's more than just the aesthetic. The attractiveness is like, I don't have anything to offer. I have nothing of value that would draw someone in and want to get to know me better, want to invest in me, invest time and energy and emotions in me. So it's definitely, wow, this is much more complex than what I was anticipating. When I hear fishy-eyed and fluffy fin, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a real easy read. It's going to be, surface level, just like some tips, some, when have I ever had a reading that was surface level? Girl, come on, be real with yourself. Princess of Summer, gentle, sensitive, kind, inexperienced. Wow. Are we the princesses of summer, where it's like we're sensitive, kind, and inexperienced? With what are we inexperienced with? Because I know Pisceans go through a lot in life. We just have a tendency to go through a lot in life. I wonder if we choose to like be filtered through that Piscean energy simply because we have a lot to learn. And the way you elevate your learning is by going through a lot. Sometimes I find myself wondering, or I used to find myself wondering, like, why does this person or that person, why do they always choose the most drama-filled shit? Like, can you just not volunteer this time? Like, can you, because I'm the one that they're telling. And it's not, I don't want to listen. It's just like, to me is a common sense. Why would you choose that again, knowing that it's going to lead to more conflict? And I recognize after a period, like, oh shit, they're fast track. Their learning is fast track. So their life is going to be full of circumstance and challenges and opportunities to elevate their learning. And really, how do you do that? You fast track by having a very complex, very challenge filled life. And that's really not something you're choosing, though. It's not. For me personally, I always end up choosing the hardest path. I'm recognizing now, like the signs that I'm about to select the most difficult option. But for a very long time, most of my life, I didn't realize I was selecting the worst scenario to work through. But I also recognize now I would not recognize that if I didn't go through it. It's like trying to describe a color you've never seen. What's that like? Like pale peonies. Do you know what a peony is? No? Well, it's pale. Pale what? Like a pale peony. Okay? We don't know what that is because we've never experienced it. If I explain a spice to you, there's this Japanese spice. It's a mix. It's bomb. What's it taste like? Like Japanese spice. What's that taste like? I don't know. Does it taste like Mexican spice? Well, I've never had Mexican spice. What's that taste like? I don't know. Like Japanese spice? So you won't know until you actually experience, and that's why you have to experience so much. If you notice, the most elevated, most profoundly gifted healers are those who are most wounded. And some people will come to you and be like, oh, I had someone come to me and tell me I was a wounded healer. I was like, fuck yeah, thank you for recognizing. I'm battle ready. I've been prepared for this purpose. Fuck yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to step into my purpose because I am so wounded from life. I know how to heal every single kind of wound. Oh my God, I thought it was a wild animal. It was a receipt. I thought a wild animal was running through my brother's living room. Give me a second. My heart's pounding. I was going to say, how did you get in? Shiva, why are you just laying there? Okay, not a wild animal. A new relationship or emotional experience, invitations to social events, a compassionate friend you can share your concerns with. What if your higher self is your compassionate friend? What if that new relationship is between the self and the soul, where they're no longer frenemies, they're actually really friends? What if invitations to social events? Hey, I'm saying this as a Piscean, don't be too mad. We have so many different personalities. What if that social event is all our personalities showing up? What if that's it? What if that's it? It's all your personalities showing up, all the fractals of you, all the shards that have been separated from your consciousness, but never actually left you. And so now it's all returning back to you. I'm speaking about you. I'm not speaking about someone outside of you, okay? I'm not speaking about a divine counterpart or a sacred mirror. All right. I forgot what was in this next stack of cards. So I totally just said, I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about you. I'm still talking about you. What if your feminine and masculine aspects have been fractionated? What if, because of social pressures, familial pressures, you've been forced into a gender-based role, and that's really, it's not in alignment with you and your truth. I've been told a very long time, I'm too tomboyish, I'm too basically masculine. Despite the fact that I look very feminine, I'm actually very masculine in energy. So the power of attraction, what if you are bringing back all your parts back to you? You know what I mean? Someone outside of you is not your part. That's something outside of you. They are autonomous. And I'm saying this because Michael keeps saying something in my ear about, I don't know, I tuned him out. But the feeling that I get is like there are those who might misinterpret what I'm saying to be representative of me speaking on a subject matter that I just don't want to talk about, which is true. I don't want to talk about that. I want to move forward. I want Pisceans to move forward from this, like, y'all know what I'm talking about, from that subject matter. So when I'm doing work within myself, I recognize people outside of me are brought to me to trigger specific types of learning, specific types of cycles that will lead to higher levels of understanding, okay? So power of attraction, you're calling back the structure and the flow. The structure and the flow, you need both. There's no point in having structures like that, honeycomb structures, if there's no stuff that's going to flow through it. Because what's honey? Honey flows through, but not before the face, the cap of each cell is broken off, okay? You won't experience the sweetness of life and growth until you take off your caps, your covers. So there's also this sense, I'm not a beekeeper. There's also this sense that, okay, honey is not something that's magically produced. Honey is the vomit. No joke. Honey is the vomit of bees. They digest and vomit it out and fill up the cells because they lay their babies in the cells, and that's the food, the glucose that will be eaten by the babies before they hatch. So now it's like vomitose, regurgitations, even a sense of like verbal diarrhea where you're speaking to yourself and being very honest and no longer trying to censor what you're saying to yourself. You don't have to do this with other people because you're going to catch a lot of flack for that. I do. I don't care. You're going to catch a lot of flack for being that level of honest. Okay, society's not quite ready for that yet, but you do have to be that level of honest for yourself. So potentially, what could be causing you to feel like, no, I don't want to do this. No, it's too scary, is the fact that you're uncovering aspects of your inner child. So is it time to do this? Well, if you want the sweetness, yes. And it's not like the whole, it's not like the whole beehive can do this at the same time. If you use too much, if you open too many of the cells, there's not enough to continue the cycles. So there are some decisions you have to make. There's some very real decisions that you have to make. You're at the epicenter of all of this. Okay. Let's see. Girlfriend. Card number 34, in the world, not of the world. So you're in this world, but you're not of it. That's what the card says. Allow yourself to kind of just lean back into your greatness. Allow yourself to allow the other fishies to just swim on by. Let them swim on by. Focus on yourself. Focus on your growth. Look at that. Your personal power contains so many pearls of wisdom. So many pearls of wisdom. And how do you utilize that pearl of wisdom if it's so tightly strung on strings? And what are those strings? She is hot. Were you looking for her nipple? Because I found myself looking for that. And I'm like, why am I looking for her nipple? It's not showing. It kind of is. It kind of is. Areola shot. I think I was hearing you, Ben. Okay, stop. Okay. If your pearls of wisdom are so tightly strung, first off, you're high strung, 79% at 1010. Second off, those strings are what's actually binding you. You have to kind of just let loose. You have to allow this process. You can't be controlled all the time. You can't be quiet all the time. It's definitely something that is a process to get used to. It's definitely a process. You might find that in the beginning, when you first begin speaking, it's almost a sense of you don't even know your voice. Like, what is this sound that comes out of me? And that's probably a weird feeling because of the fact that you never really allow yourself to speak. Part of the main reason why it took me so long to just allow myself to live stream was that my voice sounded so weird. It sounded so weird. I still don't really like the sound of my voice. And it's not that I don't like myself. It's just, it's weird to my ears. Like, why do you sound like that? Why do you sound like that? Well, because you haven't listened to me enough. That's why. And I slowly come to this realization over and over and over, like, no, girl, you sound perfectly fine. How many people need to tell you, I love the sound of your voice, for you to be like, okay, girlfriend, you don't have to modulate the sound. You don't have to be like all really, really soft and spoken and high throat type of talking. What the fuck is that? It's a tool. Card number 42, the word wants to be written. If you can't find your voice with your ears, find your voice with your eyes. Write things down. Allow yourself to really express yourself at this point. Just allow it. Allow your process, allow your growth. There's so many layers and levels of this transformation. So many. And if you look, the higher up you get, the less resistance there is, the more space to allow yourself to push through. It's much more dense the lower it goes. So I think Pisceans are reaching a point where we are really conscious of how many times we've played the fool for other people. Have we played the fool for, have we? Can you not lick yourself like that here? It's so distracting, baby. Have you, how many times do you feel you've played the fool for someone? Were you playing the fool for someone, or were you playing the fool for yourself? I think most of us will see that we've been playing the fool for ourselves. That we've been making these decisions. It hasn't necessarily been someone else using us. Exactly, universal D, dumbing ourselves down for others. Not allowing ourselves to share what it is we're witnessing. And oftentimes what we witness helps us to really be able to follow intuitively where this is going. This is why oftentimes Pisces will just disappear. They won't explain. They won't, okay, I see where this is going. I'm out. I'm out. Open the gates. I'm out. Yeah, you know, I just kind of just disappear. And, you know, sometimes I find myself having conversations with myself where it's like, girl, why can't you just like explain, or you know, why does it have to always be like that? Why are you so afraid to speak up? Well, I don't like it. So I kind of just see how it plays out. And sometimes I go quiet. Sometimes I fully disappear. Sometimes it's forever. Sometimes it's not forever. I kind of just have to allow myself to do my own process. And as I allow myself to do my own process more and more, it becomes something that's very, it becomes something that is very liberating and empowering. And the more I give myself permission to go through my organic processes, the less I need coping mechanisms to go through that process. The silence usually is a coping mechanism. I don't know if you guys recognize that. The silence is a coping mechanism. Like, I don't know what to say, how to say it, when to say it, who to say it to. And I don't want to be seen as someone who's just causing problems. And so I'm just going to keep quiet until I'm bursting at the seams and it just comes out like verbal diarrhea. And now I've said it the wrong way, said it to the wrong person at the wrong time. Everybody's hurt. Everyone's mad at me. I'm the drama queen now. Yeah. Because politics. It's like, it's switched. It's actually switched because Pisceans are so upside down. We're so upside down in our existence. This is who we are inside, and sometimes this is who we have to portray ourselves to be to protect ourselves. You know, sometimes it's just hard. It's just hard to allow yourself to just be. Let me take a moment really quick. Someone requested you be deleted, Ben. It has nothing to do with you. That's not a moderator. That's not someone that I'm, allowing to moderate the comments. That is someone who read something you wrote, I don't know what, through the filters of their own eyes and their own lives, and they offended themselves. Doesn't make them a bad person, doesn't make you a bad person. It just means there's been a huge misunderstanding. Huge. And we're going to move forward from that. So card number 6, success. Allow yourself to be successful in your processes. And Ben, I'm not trying to tell you not to ask questions. Okay? I'm just trying to give you clarity. I see it for what it is, and I'm now providing clarity. Okay? You can ask questions all you want. You have a right to, but there you go. So you have to be successful in your own process. You have to allow yourself to move forward from whatever triggers. The part of the reason why I address that is that I go through that same process. Many Pisceans go through that same process where we're very sensitive to energy. Not that we're sensitive, period. Okay, we're very sensitive to energy. And a simple comment like that, because I felt it too. I just didn't. I recognize her name. I know she, I know you come around, I welcome you, but I did feel that energy. Immediately I was offended. Like, who the fuck is you? Someone that supports me and wants to share space with me. I understand there was a misunderstanding. There was something that was written and received in a different way than intended. Does it make either person bad? No. But what allows for larger conflict is when we don't speak up. It's when we are just like, ooh, let's avoid that. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Because by me saying something, I have a very real risk of either offending Ben or offending Marsha. And what happened when I spoke up is done. It's done, and it's just done. And both have the right and the space to choose. Will you continue to share space with me? Will you choose to move forward? Are you mad that I spoke truth and just neutralized it all? That's something each person has to decide for themselves, either publicly, quietly, whatever it is. But we have to respect people's abilities and authority to decide those things for themselves. When you speak up, you have to just speak up with no desire to control. Because I could have been like, okay, no, you can't be mad. No, Emmie. He absolutely can be mad. She absolutely can be mad. I have no right to try and dictate, try and manipulate, and cause people to feel something they're not feeling. And if they're feeling mad, I can't try and force them to feel not mad. And that's part of what Pisceans really, really struggle through. We take on the weight of every single circumstance. Even if it's not your circumstance, you feel as though you are obligated to say the right thing at the right time and solve all the problems. What if it's not a problem? What if it's simply an opportunity to learn on an elevated level? Because I used to struggle through like, God, I got to solve this. I got to get people to stop arguing. I got to be like, you're being stupid. You're not you guys, not you guys. I'm talking about like, especially like if I see my siblings arguing, I'm like, no, you're being stupid. No, you're being stupid. You fucking started it. Now he's pissed off. He has a right to be pissed off, but you be pissed off far too long. And he's just being stupid. Y'all being both stupid. It's no longer like, okay, I got to say the right thing to this person. I got to say the right thing to that person. I got to bring them together. People come together when they're meant to. There's nothing a Piscean or anyone else on this video can do to force that. It's just, you can't. You can't. And you have to be okay with that. Because when you do that, it's not love. It's a triggering of your own internal struggles, your own internal lack of confidence, your fears. It doesn't make you a bad person to have those triggered and rise to the surface. It just means now is a time, perfect opportunity for you to go inwards and really observe what's been brought to the surface, to the forefront of your field of awareness. Okay, why am I so triggered by this? That's right. It's because I used to be so angry like that. I'm still angry, but just not about stupid things. See? So there, I've learned. And speaking on that particular example, instead of like, hey, you know, you got to blah, 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 blah. I said, you know, remember how I used to always be mad? You know, when someone does something, I'm like really pissed off and I just can't let it go. It takes me years to let it go. That didn't serve me anything. So, you know, just not telling you what to do, but just kind of sharing that with you so you can decide for yourself how you want to move forward from it. You know, if you want to stay there and still be pissed, just try not to be pissed for too long. But I do recognize there was a reason you feel like that. And then just leaving it at that. Okay, Pisces, it's not our job to solve everything. So the politics of it. All right. So card number 26, protection. Set personal boundaries. You have to set those personal boundaries. And when people don't like what that boundary is, they're going to have to go ahead and figure it out. They're going to have to go ahead and figure it out because your boundaries exist to protect you. Your boundaries exist to give you an idea, a sense of the places in which your soul will expand you at some point in your life. Those boundaries aren't for other people. They're not to accommodate someone else's lack of boundaries. And if you're going to continue to accommodate other people's lack of boundaries, what ends up happening? Well, they don't know where the boundary is. So when you get pissed off that they've taken it too far, that will be something you have to be accountable for. I look at quite a few parents. I'm very particular in my parenting. I don't like spanking. I don't like screaming at kids. You know, I'm just very like, look, you're my equal, start acting like it. That's it. You're my equal, start acting like it. If I have tantrums, I can't expect you to not have tantrums. But if I'm taking it upon myself to speak with you, to ask you what's wrong, to ask for communication, I expect you to communicate with me. I don't expect you to control your emotions in such a way that you're not ready for yet. But you have to verbalize to me what is going on so I can assist you in whatever way I need to, whatever way you need me to. And I see a lot of parents who are like having control issues with their children. You know, you can't dominate a child through physical violence and just pure aggression tactics where you're screaming at them in their face. Like, I won't say that I have never spanked my child. I won't say that I've never yelled at my child. But my children know once it gets to that point, like, yeah, you took it way, way, way too far. And I told you took it too far. And you decided to continue taking it even further. And so now this is the reaction. This is no longer parenting. This is just flat out reaction. We'll deal with this shit later. Meaning the talking of, now I got to give myself the freedom to just react and be a human being. So I see these parents like, oh, my child's hella bad. Like he won't even stay in timeout. Well, can you put yourself in timeout? Can you shut yourself up just for a little bit to recognize they are mirroring your lack of boundaries, verbal expression of self, and cognitive ability to realize how your behavior is programming your child? Well, the same applies for everyone you come across in your life. Why do very few people try and mess with me and disrespect me? I'm not going to do that to you. And you sure as hell are not going to do that to me. We are equals. We need to see each other eye to eye. And if you need to do roundabout shit to try and go behind me, okay, you're out. You're out. Have a beautiful life. I don't wish anything wrong for you. I don't wish any harm to you. No, I only want people who can see me eye to eye. And this is not about agreeing. This is not about having the same frame of mind, the same stance on any given topic. This is about us recognizing and seeing each other as equals. Each has a right to feel and think and have the stance they do. And because you want your stance respected, you have to respect someone else's stance. This is about healthy boundaries. This is about sovereignty. Everything I just explained to you is sovereignty. By the laws of sovereignty, if you deem yourself a sovereign, you must, because of that sovereignty, recognize, respect, and uphold everyone else's sovereignty. Why do I not tell you what to do? Why do I only share my experiences? Because I fully exist in my sovereignty. You will not tell me what to do. You can share your experiences and you can give me the freedom to decide for myself. But the moment you try and dictate to me, either covertly, passive aggressively, full on outright aggressively, you're fucking out. You're out. Because I will not allow you to trigger me to return to a place where I was like that. This is about setting personal boundaries. My boundaries, not yours. If your boundaries are much bigger than mine and they encroach onto my sacred space, you're gonna need to back the fuck up until your boundary and my boundary are like this. Just saying, just saying. Maybe that's why some people need to back up. You know, maybe it's this thing of like, we're allowing people to get too close and they haven't learned the proper boundaries. Maybe they don't realize their boundaries are trying to dominate your own. Well, I'm gonna help you learn. Take 5 steps back before I slap the shit out of you. I'm joking. I'm not gonna slap you unless you force me to. I'm not gonna lie and be like, I'm not violent. I could be very violent. I just don't want to be. Unless I have to be. Verbal communication works perfectly fine. But I also want to respect the fact that there might be circumstances in my life experiences, that will require me to use my magical as fuck hands. And they're ready to eat for everybody. That's the funniest shit ever. I'm gonna show you guys this. I sent this to my brother. He was trying to say something, and so he's trying to say something about spirits need to ask his permission to enter the house, whether he's home or not. I have to ask his permission first. And so I sent him this. When someone tries to disrespect my energy, like they won't catch these magic hands, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay? I told him, hostile takeover. It's not your house no more. It's our house. By the laws of California. Hostile fucking takeover. And then my other brother, who I'm taking care of, he's like, why you gotta be hostile? Hey, mind your own business. Mind your own business. I'll just say it. Card number 29, perfect acceptance. Accept yourself as you are. You know, accept yourself as you are. There's some really beautiful stuff happening in the comments. Just say it. This is a period of learning. It's okay to learn. It's okay to learn privately. It's okay to learn publicly. It's okay to recognize like, oh shit, maybe I was wrong in something. You know, like I think both of you are awesome. I really do. I think both of you are awesome. And I think it's a really good thing to recognize. Part of what happens in the comments sometimes, and I so appreciate you guys. I know many of you are very highly protective of me. And when there's this perception that I'm being disrespected, you guys are finding your voice. And it's like, no, Emmie has been a voice for so many of us. I'm not going to let you be like that. And I deeply appreciate, I mean, you guys don't need to fight on my behalf, you know, but I do recognize it. And it's a beautiful thing because now we're creating a space where it's like, y'all are my equals. Like, you see that? You guys are my equals. I'm not preaching down to you. we're holding space and talking together and sharing and learning together. Sometimes it's quiet learning, sometimes it's outright learning, but it's a beautiful, empowering thing to be able to witness all of this together. That's a beautiful thing, because so many people are so ashamed of their learning process in this life. Now, we don't have the gift of being able to witness the learning together. So then we're left with like, oh shit, the fuck happened? Learning happened. It's fucking empowering. So, alone but not lonely, card number 31. There's a lot of recordings. There's a lot of vines that I see. This tells me that for some Pisceans, because it looks like it's really centered in the heart. For some Pisceans, it's a sense, or some of you who are watching, it's a sense that you don't recognize how connected you are with other people already. And it's like you're trying your hardest to find and develop connections with others. You have connections. You're just afraid to recognize them. It doesn't make you weak. You're just afraid to recognize them because each connection has the potentiality to bring toxicity in your life. Because really, what do roots do? Okay, if these are roots, they look like roots, they look like vines. What do roots do? They bring things into the plant. They're the way the plant eats and drinks. So it's kind of scary if there's a potential that part of your roots are planted in toxicity. That's going to bring toxicity into you. How will you handle that? Am I strong enough? Am I brave enough? Will I know what to do? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you've made it this far. Everyone who watches my live streams, everyone who shares space with me, whether it's live or recorded, y'all, it's because you're ready to reach the next level of your consciousness. You're ready. It's not because you're lost. It's because now you've cleared out the stuff from your ears, you've wiped your eyes, and you're ready to see and hear with full clarity whatever it is your soul is wanting you to hear. And not the whole reading is going to make sense for everybody. For some people, none of it makes sense. That's okay. Keep watching. Because eventually it makes sense and you have this aha moment and holy shit, that's what my life was trying to teach me. Not that's what Emmie's teaching. That's what my life was trying to teach me. You helped me to understand that. And for those of you who are already starting to understand, keep watching anyways, because there's a new message every day. It's a new nuance to the same lesson you've been working through this whole time. You have been consciously choosing to show up. Not show up for my live streams. Show up for your life lessons. These are like cliff notes for the things you're going through. These videos, they're cliff notes. They're not instructions. They're a condensed expression of several chapters that you haven't quite fully absorbed. Chapters of your life and your learning, not something outside of you. So, speaking of, conclusion. Photosynthesis, that's an awesome thing for me to notice as I'm saying conclusion. The conclusion is this: you create your own nourishment. Photosynthesis. The plant creates its own food. You are self-sustained. All you need is the light of your truth and the hydroplasmic fluid of your abundance. Because what's abundance? Money? No. Abundance is that flow of energy, that liquid energy. You need both the light of your truth and your liquid energy. Spiritual photosynthesis. So, you okay? Come here. Love. You have to begin loving yourself. The people who are brought to you, the people whose paths intersect with yours, they're helping you to learn how to love yourself, either through challenge or through encouragement. Every single thing you go through in this life is trying to help you to learn deeper and more elevated levels of self-love. And self-love is not this basic concept of, I'm going to treat myself out to dinner. I'm going to buy myself luxurious. I'm going to buy myself something luxurious. I'm going to go on a fancy trip. You know, I'm going to get my hair done. I'm going to go ahead and buy new shoes. You know, that can be an expression of it. But that's not all it is. It's not. Self-love has much more raw, gritty components to it. It's about being able to sit in that hole, that muddy hole, and recognize there are fruit that you have grown, and those fruits have become so ripe, you haven't harvested. So what happens? They fall to the ground. Is that a wasted opportunity? No. Because what do those fruits contain? Seeds. Not only are you a tree in the orchard of life, within you is an entire orchard as well. Something that is contained within the larger orchard of the collective whole. This is a beautiful thing if you allow it to be. Several years ago, I went through this like realization, and I started to cry on a live stream, because it's like, I have done so much work, put in so much effort, staying up days at a time, just really fixated and learning so much about how this world functions. And as I began to do way more extensive energetic work for other people, more portions of my brain have been preoccupied with running extremely high etheric frequencies. And so now my short-term memory is affected. I don't remember most of what I learned. Was it wasted? No. Because those are seeds that turn into new trees that will nourish the people who are there after my tree is long gone. Nothing is ever wasted in life. Nothing. Because what the human perceives as a wasted fruit, oh, no, it's too ripe, it's rotting now. There is richness in that decay. If you find your life rotting all around you, like everything is just falling apart, it's just rotten, there is richness in that decay. You have been planted. Usually when it seems like everything in life is going rotten for you, it feels so dark, it feels so dense. It's because you've been planted. Ooh, Michael reminded me of this poem. I don't have it memorized, and I don't want to botch it. Okay. Where is it? Here we go. I do not love you as if you were salt rose or topaz, or the arrows of carnations the fire shoots off. I love you as certain dark things are to be loved in secret between the shadow and the soul. I love you as a plant that never blooms but carries itself in the light. Ooh, I fucking love it. I swear. Oh. There's just something about that particular poetry. Oh my God. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold up. I got to give you guys the link. Whew. Oh my gosh. So I do not love you as if you were salt rose or topaz, or the arrows of the carnations the fire shoots off. I love you as certain dark things are to be loved in secret between the shadow and the soul. I love you as a plant that never blooms but carries itself the light of hidden flowers. Thanks to your love, a certain solid fragrance risen from the earth lives darkly in my body. I love you without knowing how or when or from where. I love you straightforwardly without complexities or pride. So I love you because I know no other way. I love you when I know no other way than this, where I does not exist, nor you, so close that your hand on my chest is my hand, so close that your eyes close as I fall asleep. Fucking love Neruda. Oh my God, let me just, there. Mr. Neruda. Here we go. You have choices to make. Make those choices in accordance with what you need as a person, okay? As an individual person, you have to allow yourself space to grow. You have to allow yourself space to feel very, very small, very, very compressed. And it's in that part of your journey, that part of your recognition, your awareness of the processes of your journey, that you need to begin reminding yourself, I have been planted. I'm prepared to grow. I have been planted. I'm prepared to grow. I have been planted. I'm prepared to grow. And if you say that enough, you then begin to take it in as your own truth. And it's important for you to hear your own voice. Why is that? When you begin hearing your own voice, you begin reprogramming, rewiring your brain to recognize you as the utmost authority within your life. What is the definition of sovereignty? The utmost authority. Thank you, Oracle. So that's what it is. This recognition that other people's voices are not your own, and they may deliver messages to you, but it's up to you to recognize, receive, and process those messages, and then begin to integrate it into the truth of you as you know it. This is how you grow yourself. This is how you remember your power. Not find your power, but remember it. Because just because you don't recognize how powerful you are doesn't mean you're not powerful. Let that sink in. And maybe part of the reason why people test you so much is because they recognize your power. They recognize that you don't recognize that yet. And maybe that's an opportunity for you to remember. Either remember how to speak up for yourself, or remember you are so far beyond where they are at in their consciousness, and it's just not worth my time. I don't need to explain something to someone who's not willing or able to understand. I have to explain myself. No, I don't. Just let them witness me walking away. Because, yeah, I'm not going to waste my time on bullshit. The more I recognize how precious my journey is, the more each moment becomes that much more precious to me. Each moment is a learning opportunity, including live streams. Time and space I share with you guys helps me to learn more about myself. So this is a shared gift between us. So now I gotta go. I gotta go. So you guys, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Excuse me, turn on the notification bell. Make sure you join me. I got my sword and my knife out all in one day. Oh. You cooking? I mean, you know, I wrote a poem one day, years ago. People assume I'm all rainbows and sunshine, when in reality, I'm soft-spoken words and daggers in my pockets. And I used to think that I needed to have daggers to protect myself. And then one day I recognized those daggers, they're in my pocket to help me cut down the fruit of my life. It's time for harvest. I'm done fighting. It's time to just harvest. Harvest all my lessons, allow it to nourish myself and anyone who wants to sit at my table. We leave it at that. Love you guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye.